to satsang. So beautiful to be together with all of you. It's a very sacred night in the Indian tradition called Karva Chauth, which is a day in which women fast until they see the moon for their husbands. They don't drink water, they don't eat, and then they go and they do a very special puja once they see the moon. But it's not just on that level of one wife, one husband, a puja plate, and the moon. It's about the power of the moon on this day and the power of a devoted heart. And that's the teaching. It goes back to teachings from the scriptures. I won't go into all of the details, but it's a very sacred day that reminds us of the power of love, the power of purity, the power of commitment, the power of connection, and how we're not victims of our surroundings or victims of the world, but actually very active co-creators in the creation of our world. So a very happy, beautiful Karva Chauth to all of you. Very sacred day. And as always, we start with one of the questions that comes in from our global family, joining us from all over the world online. And then we'll take any questions that anyone here has. There's a microphone right here, and if you've got a question, feel free to just come up to the mic and share your name, share where you're from, and share your question. And as I always remind people, because people are always shy and always nervous, there's no such thing as a silly question or a wrong question. If it's in your heart, if it's in your mind, if it's something important to you, it's exactly the right question, and it's why we're here. I never took any money from anyone, and I have now lost all of my fortune. Now I feel empty. This has been asked by Gopal on Instagram. You know, as I was sharing in Arati about all of the different ways that our rishis and our sages have given us teachings for mental health. They didn't say it like that. They didn't say follow these steps and you'll have mental health. But they said do yoga, do pranayama, do meditation. And they didn't necessarily know words like dopamine or oxytocin or amygdala. But they knew by doing these things, it keeps you healthy, grounded, anchored, centered, strong on every level. And I was speaking in the Arati about the teaching that they gave us of doing seva and how it's not for others, but it's for us. Because in serving someone, in serving in any way, we become clear, purified. We access joy, we access peace. And I share this, Gopal, because if you've never asked anyone for anything, it means that you've never given someone the opportunity to serve. And giving someone that opportunity is actually a really beautiful gift. A lot of us feel like, oh, I can't ask anything of anyone because then I'm going to be like a beggar, or it's rude, it's not nice. And obviously, anything you ask should always be asked with the full acceptance and spaciousness that people have every right to say no for a good reason or for no reason. There's a difference between asking and expecting. But in asking for help, it actually opens up the space for you to experience a brand new role as the one who's receiving. Brand new. He didn't mention how old he is, but whether you're 25 or 65, finding yourself suddenly having to ask for help is a huge spiritual opportunity. It happens when people break their leg or they break their arm, or, somebody gets sick, or later in life as we lose faculties. It's hard. It's a huge, huge spiritual, mental, emotional, psychological challenge to finally actually have to say, hey, could you help me? Whether it's, could you give me some money? Or could you change my diaper? Or could you feed me some food? Or could I lean on you to walk to the bathroom? Or whatever kind of help it is. It's really hard for the ego, which means it's really good spiritual practice. So this situation may have arisen so that you could learn what it's like to be in the role of asking. And so that through this misfortune of you losing everything, other people could get the seva opportunity of actually doing something for you. Because I have to assume that as you amassed your fortune, you must have hopefully helped others in a variety of ways. And now they have the opportunity to help you. And that doesn't mean that you don't try to make money again. It doesn't mean that you say, okay, now for the rest of my life, I'm just going to take handouts. But it means at this moment, while you are pivoting, shifting, rebuilding, replanning, it's a moment. And it's a moment in your life of learning on every level. So ask yourself, what has this taught me financially? Sure. I imagine you're already asking that. What has this taught me economically, career-wise, strategically? We're already asking that. But now, what is this teaching me spiritually? And learn that lesson. It's hard. Asking people for things it's really, really hard. But it's a powerful learning experience, and it gives people the opportunity then to show up in love and in service for you. So I'm so sorry that has happened, and I'm excited to see the lessons that you will learn during this period of time before you start to build it all back up again. Wonderful. Other questions? Any question that anyone here has? Yeah, perfect. And you're sitting in exactly the right spot.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey, my name is Rakesh, natively from Bihar, working as an IT professional at Bangalore. I have been visiting Rishikesh, Parmarth Niketan from past 10 years maybe, more than that. However, this is my first interaction during this satsang, and mostly I am having kind of Q&A with myself. I might be mixing up two questions together, bear with me. How do we know what is our true calling? As in, what is the purpose of a human life, as in when we are born as a human, and at what time or what is it when we realize it is a self-realization?
What is, I'm sorry?
What is a self-realization?
Self-realization, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, your second question is the answer to the first question. So let's talk about the second question first. Because the ultimate purpose of our life is that self-realization. So what is it? It's the experiential awareness that although we have a body, we are not the body. That although the body has had histories and experiences, that we are not those histories and experiences. That although the body gets up every day and engages with the world, relationships, family, friends, goes to work, has a job, a career, a school, whatever it may be, that although I have all of those things, I am not them. I am not the role, I am not the relationship, I am not the job. That although inside the brain there is a variety of chemical and electrical activity in different parts of the brain, that I am not that, just like I'm not my bones or my skin, in the same way I'm not the chemistry or the electricity or the lobes of my brain. Meaning I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my emotions, I'm not my memories. And what I am is actually the divine. That's the true core of who I am. It said enlightenment is when the wave realizes that it is ocean. It's not when the wave realizes that there is no wave, that its very self is an illusion. It's not that. There is a wave. There is a body. But the ultimate truth of the wave is ocean. The ultimate truth of us is divine. That's what self-realization is. But it's not just a matter of I read it, I heard it. It's an experiential way of living. And it's something that we, as we move through our life, you are able to hold it usually for a little while. And then you lose it for a moment, or many moments strung together. And then you re-remember it. And then you lose it. And then you re-remember it. And so we try to set up our lives in such a way that we are doing more remembering than forgetting. And so some of that is obvious. Meditate. Pray. Come to satsang here, online, and not just with me, but as much as you can, spiritual wisdom, soak it up. Be in the association of spiritual people, spiritual teachers, spiritual seekers. Have that association. Remind yourself over and over again. I am not this. I am not this thought. I am not this body. I am not this projection. Just becomes a way of speaking to the self. Rather than saying you're stupid, you're fat, you're ugly, you're worthless. We say, I am not this, I am not that, I am... Different way of talking to the self. But we also align other aspects of our life. And so, for example, sometimes a job might be something that is in direct conflict with my spiritual virtues. And so we change jobs. Now, There's nothing wrong with, hard work. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita emphasizes it. Work hard, work sincerely, work with everything you've got. Like, you are not separate from that. That is your dharma. Do it fully. There's lots and lots and lots of teachings around that. But sometimes we find a job, a particular relationship, a particular habit is not in alignment with where we're going. That every time we are with this person or go to this place or punch our time clock at this particular job, that it actually is in direct conflict with where we're going spiritually. And that's when you start to say, okay, I think it's time I get a different job. I think it's time that I have different friend circle who are more in alignment with this. So there's lots and lots of ways that we start to live. One of the very interesting ways is a commitment to stop rushing. One of my favorite psychological studies was a study that they did called the Good Samaritan study. And it was a very interesting study. They went to a seminary where all of the students were learning to be priests. So people who had dedicated their lives to being religious leaders. People who were going to become the ministers, the priests. On that day of the study, they were learning the story of the Good Samaritan. It's a very, very famous story in the Bible, and they were studying the story that day. This study was done with Christian people, but they've since replicated it and found that, of course, it pertains to all of us, because regardless of what our religion, this is about human nature. So they were studying the story of the Good Samaritan, which is a story of someone who is a good Samaritan, who helps and does and serves. We would say, Bhagwan ka aadmi, kya seva hai. As they were leaving the class, and this was where the study came in, as they were leaving the class, half of the students were told, you have 15-20 minutes to get across campus to your next class. The other half of the students were told, you have 2 minutes to get across campus to your next class. Only one difference. How much time do they have to cross the campus before their next class starts? Now, as they walked out of the class on the Good Samaritan, there was a person lying on the ground in front of them. Now, this, of course, had been set up by the researchers, but the students didn't know that. All they see is a person lying on the ground. Now, the most natural human instinct, whether you're learning to become a priest or you're not, the most natural human instinct is to help that person, to bend down, to see, are they hurt? Are they dead? Are they sick? Do they need something? But especially people who have dedicated their lives to service, especially on the day where they were just learning about the Good Samaritan in class. You would expect that every single one of them would stop to make sure that this guy was okay. And what they found was, for those who were told they had 15 or 20 minutes to get across campus, almost all of them stopped. It was natural, of course, they're going to stop and make sure that this person's okay. But for those who were told they only had 2 minutes to get across campus, only about half of the students stopped. The other half literally rushed right by. Now, these are people studying to be priests. They've just learned about the Good Samaritan. And they literally rushed by a guy lying on the ground in front of them at their feet, just because they were in a rush. And so it's a really powerful study when we are looking to cultivate spiritual values, when we're looking to live in alignment with those values, that along with making sure that we add meditation and pranayam and japa and seva and prayer and all of that to our day, that we also try to make sure that we're never in too much of a rush to miss the opportunity that the moment offers us to be present. Because in that presence is actually where we find the possibility for realization. Otherwise, so many of us live our lives and it's like, get out of my way, I'm late for my meditation. Get out of my way, I gotta get to my yoga class. And so we're theoretically doing the right things, but look at what wrecks we're turning into as we're trying to do them. So we're missing the opportunity, we're missing the point. So slow down. Doesn't mean do less, but it means do things differently. Do them slower, more present. You may have to do less. But for most of us, actually, it's not a matter of how much we're doing, it's a matter of how distracted and hurried and stressed and multitasking we are in the doing of it that actually jumbles our brain. But that's a different question and a different topic. So, yes, wonderful. Other questions? Yeah, any questions? I'm sorry? If no one has one, I can take another one that came in advance. I'm sorry? No, that's okay. If you have a question, come on, ask it. Absolutely. We are all here in seva and also in our own sadhana. So, yes, of course, questions are going to arise. Beautiful. Yes, my love.
Hi. So yesterday you were saying about like loving somebody, but if they do things that you don't like, you dislike, that you have to learn how to love them the same way. But then the other day you also said something about the heart. When somebody breaks your heart, it hurts like a broken bone. So it's really hard for me, that equation. So I would like you to talk more about this. Like,
sure.
Liking the person, not getting attached for them to like you back, not getting hurt or getting hurt but getting over it. I mean, it's very confusing.
Yeah, great. Well, this is the human condition, of course. And we're looking at the spectrum from real to ideal. On the ideal end of the spectrum is, I love everyone, regardless of what they say, regardless of what they do. I love them as soul. And this is the key. When we say that unconditional love, it's not unconditional love for their body, mind, arms, legs, tongue complex. You absolutely may not love what their arms have just done, what their legs have just done, what their tongue has just done. And that's okay. And no matter what their legs, arms, or tongue has just done, ultimately, love is love for the soul. Love for the essence. So it's a form versus content situation. You could be really upset with the box, the packaging, and still love the content, the essence. And that's the piece around unconditional love, is at the core, everyone is divine. At the core, everyone is soul, is spirit. And so that highest form of love, as we sing in the Arati, Sabse Unchi Prem Sagai, the highest form of love is love for the divine. When we love the divine, we are seeing the divine in all. As we see the divine in all, that soul, that spirit, that consciousness, that divinity, we love it. And what they're doing with their arms, their legs, their hands, their mouth, may be something that not only don't we love, but we don't even like it. However, on that human level, you also have to make sure, to the extent possible, and this is when we start to slide a bit from ideal to real, to the extent possible, to not be attached to what they do. Why? Because it just makes you miserable. Nobody's going to change what they do anyway. But being attached to what they do, how they treat you, how they feel about you, how they live, it's just going to make you miserable. And so on a spiritual level, we say, recognize that even their arms, legs, tongue, human package is here on its karmic journey. That soul is here associated with a human body, a human story, a karmic package for this lifetime. So love them as the soul, even if you don't necessarily love the karmic package, but don't be attached to what that karmic package does, because it's just going to make you miserable, because you have no control over it. Is it hard? Of course it's hard. Human nature is when we love, when we care, we get attached. Obviously, it happens to all of us. It's part of our spiritual work. You work and you work to love without attachment. Can you love someone even if they're not loving you back? They're not even being nice to you. They're doing things that you totally disapprove of. Can you love them anyway? Not in an attached way of, okay, I'm just going to wait for you forever and eventually you're going to come around and I'm going to pray to God that you're going to finally change. And it's not that. I'm going to love the essence of you. I'm going to love soul, spirit, divinity in you. And I'm going to understand that that soul, spirit, divinity is here associated with a body on a karmic journey. Just as I am here on a karmic journey. And there are things I do with my arms, my legs, my tongue that other people don't like. But boy, wouldn't it be beautiful if they could love me as soul anyway. And so we do that work. That's the peace. And as you do that, you know, in the Buddhist tradition, they have practices around metta practices, loving kindness practices. And it's a very powerful practice to send love to someone you don't like, to an enemy. It's a very powerful energetic practice, but it's also a very powerful healing practice, because as you send them loving energy, as you open up your heart wide enough for them to be in it, you change. And again, that doesn't mean that we approve of or like or enjoy or choose to be around people in their particular karmic paths and with their karmic journeys. That's critical, and we were talking about that the other night. Don't take them out of your heart. You certainly may decide to live in a different house. You certainly may decide to have a different job, or, so that you're not so much in their physical presence. But don't cut them out of your heart. Because if you cut them out of your heart, you're cutting a part of your heart away as well. Yes, beautiful. So, before we conclude satsang tonight, we have a very special and beautiful birthday to celebrate of our Parmarth Seva sister, Krishna Priya. Where is she? There she is. Stand up so everybody can see you. And we have a beautiful satsang tradition when it's anybody's birthday. And by the way, should it be anybody else's birthday here with us, raise your hand and let us know as well. Sometimes we get double birthdays on the same day. And the beautiful tradition that we have is that we sing happy birthday as a global family from as many different languages as we have with us in the room. So we'll start with English because everybody can do that. And then we'll go into Sanskrit from our beautiful Rishu Kumars. And then we will open it up for any languages that any of you speak. And don't be shy. The happy birthday satsang is a lot of people's first time on a microphone. So don't worry about your singing voice, but we'll then take it in all of, excuse me, all the different languages that we have. And then we have beautiful sweets for all of you. But before that, come. Thank you. Come. आप लोग मंत्र बोलेंगे.
सुदीनां जन्मदिनं तव भवतु मङ्गलं जन्मदिनं तव सुदीनां जन्मदिनं तव भवतु मङ्गलं जन्मदिनं तव विजयी भव सर्वत्र सर्वदा भवतु मङ्गलं जन्मदिनं तव सुदीनां जन्मदिनं तव भवतु मङ्गलं जन्मदिनं तव भवतु मङ्गलं जन्मदिनं तव ॐ दीर्घायुष्य ओंकारे परिता जस्मै चलवाकनाम्यहम् अतो स्वन्दीर्घायुर्भूत्वा शतवर्षाभिरोहतात्.
So we actually started with Sanskrit. Now we'll go to English, and then we will go to the other languages. So everyone together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Krishna Priya. Happy birthday to you. Okay, what's our first other language? Spanish. Great. Come, everybody, Spanish. The Spanish quartet. Good.
Que lo cumplas feliz, que lo cumplas feliz, que lo cumplas, que lo cumplas feliz.
Yeah. Don't raise your hand. Just come to the mic. Can you sing in any language? Come to the mic. Yes. But tell us in advance what the language is in case we don't immediately get it.
The language is in Catalan, from Catalonia. Moltes felicitats, moltes felicitats, et desitgem, germana, moltes felicitats.
Yeah. Other languages.
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Brazilians, come forward. Portuguese, come forward.
Parabéns pra você nesta data querida. Muitas felicidades, muitos anos de vida. Parabéns pra você nesta data querida. Muitas felicidades, muitos anos de vida. Viva, Pia! Viva! Viva!
Beautiful. Other languages. Yeah, come. And then you. Come. Yes. What language?
Lithuanian.
Lithuanian. This is a first, I think. Lithuanian. Wonderful. How wonderful. That's a first. Wonderful. Other languages. Yes. Hindi, of course. Come forward. And Rohan, get ready with Italian. Italian.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. जन्मदिन की शुभकामनाएं कृष्ण प्रिया.
And Rohan with Italian. Anybody else get ready?
Tanti auguri a te, tanti auguri a te, tanti auguri a Krishna Priya, tanti auguri a te.
Beautiful. Any other languages? Yes, great. Russian, wonderful.
С днем рождения тебя, с днем рождения тебя, с днем рождения, Кришна рождения, с днем рождения тебя.
How wonderful. Yes.
Hebrew.
Hebrew, beautiful, beautiful.
Yom Uledet Sameach, Yom Uledet Sameach, Yom Uledet Sameach, Pujya Sameach.
How wonderful. Any other languages? Yes.
Swahili. Furahia siku ya kuzaliwa, furahia siku ya kuzaliwa, furahia siku ya kuzaliwa, furahia siku ya kuzaliwa.
I think we had two firsts today, Swahili and Lithuanian. How wonderful. Any other languages? Wonderful. Well then, why don't you tali lanabia? So, as we conclude Satsang, Krishna Priya will come and offer you all beautiful, fresh-made sweets, gluten-free. They are, it's a basin, it's chickpea flour basin laddus. So, wonderful. Yes. I'm sorry? Sure. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rest of your evenings. Beautiful day and morning to our family joining us all over the world. And so much love to you. And I'm so happy you could all be here with us also for our sacred Parmarth family birthday celebration.
Just before we conclude, I just want to remind everyone, before I give you candy, that you can always stay connected to Sadhviji. She has a beautiful podcast called Ask Sadhviji that is uploaded weekly. We're into like week 40 almost, so there's a good bit to listen to, and it's on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. That's called Ask Sadhviji. And then you can join us and follow on social media at Sadhviji, on YouTube and on Instagram. And then on Facebook, it's at Sadhvi Bhagawati Saraswati. But if you type in Sadhviji, she always comes up as well. And then lastly, we need your questions for future satsangs, just like the list that Sadhviji has there. So if you had a question, you didn't quite know what to ask, please come to the back and leave your question. It can be answered at future satsang. Or find one of our sevaks, Tallulah, Claudine, Tiffany, myself, and you can always ask your question, or you can send it in to us on social media. So don't be shy about that. All right? Okay, and then I'll be handing out candies now. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.